both for you but also the community. You'll be more engaged in your community, and you can be better change agents for the world that needs you. Um, so, as our CEO says here, our world's profound challenges require the engagement of all people, including those 5 to 25 years old, if we are to effectively overcome them. And we need children and youth ASAP. And the way that YSA actually thinks about ASAP is in the United States, it's as soon as possible. So we need you now. But even broader than that, we think about it in terms of the types of projects that you can engage in. So, awareness, direct service, advocacy, and philanthropy are the four types of service that we classify. So, a little bit about GYSD, Global Youth Service Day. As Christine mentioned, it's April 11th through the 13th of 2014 this year. And it's an annual campaign. So next year it'll also be in April of 2015. Um, and it's organized by YSA, but our Global Youth Service Network as well. So for a lot of you, that's country partners, or as Iron is, a national and global partner. And so we have representation and projects happening in over 100 countries on those 6 continents. Sadly, not not Antarctica quite yet, and in all of 50 U.S. states. And an estimated 2 million youth will participate in Global Youth Service Day this year. But we, as an organization, will track the direct service of about 750,000 young people. I should mention here that we are not able to track that number unless you report your project. So I'll talk about that in a minute. But please do make sure to register your project on our map. So in 2013, we awarded about 800 grants totaling $1.1 million to organizations, schools, and young people to support some of these projects. We currently don't have international funding for projects, but we are working on it, so you may see it come through in the summer. So as I mentioned, our Global Youth Service Day partners are incredibly important to us, and they are part of the Global Youth Service Network. So these include schools, organizations, youth, and this year, all of our international partners include more than 50 global large organizations with representation in more than one country. About 241 country partners. We just increased that number last week. And hundreds of local organizers. So if you weren't a country partner last year as part of your Yes Alumni Network, then I'm guessing that you are probably a local organizer and registered your project on our map. And you are part of the Global Youth Service Network. So we are hoping to grow that network, and we hope that you will be a part of it. In the United States, we have the same sort of structure, and so all of those partners are engaged as well. And then our partner days of service, which include organizations like the Earth Day Network that runs Earth Day, and other various organizations that run campaigns in April. We hope that because Global Youth Service Day is not specific to a certain area or issue, that you will actually look at these other organizations and see them as other campaigns that you can engage in to be more focused on a specific topic. So as I mentioned, we would love for you to register your project if you haven't already. Currently, we have over 400 projects registered. And as you can see from the map here, it's growing every single day. And last year, actually, we had several Yes Alumni projects, and many of you have mentioned those in the chat box. And I can't find it quite yet, but some things that we remember from last year that Yes Alumni ran leadership and team building trainings and planted about 10,000 trees in Jordan. They built libraries in Ghana. You held an environmental seminar in Cameroon. And you created a volunteer video in Bangladesh called I Volunteer Because, which you launched at the start of Global Youth Service Day. So first, I want to thank you for all of that work. It was so much fun to read about all those stories last year. And I really hope that you register your project again this year and share your story on our Tell Us Your Story page. We really want to hear about it. And so we're actually able to show the impact of what you're doing if you register your project. It's really simple. You just log in, click on your region of the world, and enter the details of your event. And make sure to enter your country so we can see where it is and have it mapped properly. And then in the project title, I know this is getting a little detailed, but in the project title, you want to mention the recruitment organization so that we can tell that organization how many projects you all did. And so internally, we have a little competition between organizations to see who's registering the most projects. So I hope that you guys can make Yes Alumni and your recruitment organizations win. So moving on, again, why youth and why Global Youth Service Day? So we often frame why people should get involved in service as spark plus fire plus awareness, service, advocacy, and philanthropy equals impact, and greater impact the more that you have of each of them. We define spark as really your passion and your skills and your interests and finding what really makes you excited. And then fire, the issue area that really fires you up, that really gets you going. And ASAP, how you create that project or what you do with that. We think that that is the perfect equation to create the greatest amount of impact. So think about that as you're planning your project this year. And one of the great things about the Global Youth Service Day site is that we have a bunch of tools for you to use to plan your project. You can go onto our website at gysd.org/tools, and you'll find this toolkit, as well as a bunch of other things, other tools that will help you plan your project. And so this one's called Youth Changing the World, a Service Project Toolkit, and we just translated it into Spanish, Russian, and French. And so we're always looking for more translators. If you're interested in that, let me know. But this is what we have currently, and we hope that you will download them, use them. They're free, and that you'll really find them useful. So part of this packet, this toolkit, is to increase the impact that you're already having with your project. And so it's really a step-by-step guide to take you through the planning processes. And the first is to investigate your issue or what you care about, to prepare and plan and really set out your goals, to act, which is always the most fun, and then reflect. Talk to people about what you learned and how they can participate next year. And then demonstrate and celebrate. One of the key points of Global Youth Service Day is not just to serve and not just to volunteer, but also to celebrate what you're doing 365 days of the year. We know that you're awesome all the time, and we just get to see that one time of the year. So we really want to celebrate what you're doing all year round. So please take a moment to celebrate what you're doing. So to go through a little bit of the toolkit, and I know that I want to leave some time for other people and questions, of course. So I'll take you through this fairly quickly, but again, the resources online. And the first piece of the resource, the Youth Changing the World Toolkit, is to investigate your issue. And so this is, selecting that issue that's really important to you, identifying and learning about the community needs and problems that are connected to that issue. So talking to people in your community or doing your own research, and brainstorming and selecting a way to address the need and make an impact. So what I was talking about before with ASAP of awareness or direct service or advocacy or philanthropy. We really want you to figure out how you want to tackle the issue that you see. So we have a couple pages on the website that will maybe help you do this. We have a couple simple ideas on there of what you can do to create a project, or project ideas rather. And these are very basic, and I know that a lot of yours are much more extensive, and I commend you for that. So take whatever project ideas you want from this and then expand on those, make those bigger, make them better, and tell us what you're doing, because we always want to tell other people how they can improve their project too. So the second piece of investigating is really to identify and learn about the community needs and problems that are connected to the issue. As you can see, Rachel Brunson's third grade class in Texas received a grant from us to do some work or to do a service project based on hunger. And they mapped everything out that they knew about childhood hunger. And so as you can see in this graph here, they talked a little bit about the different issues that went into childhood hunger and how they felt about that. And the third piece is really to select your way to address the need and make a big impact. This also includes looking at your own personal assets and what you bring to the project, what your community brings to the project, so what your family and your friends can help you with, and what your community already has, and what they contribute. The second piece of planning a project is preparing and planning, which is very important to making sure that your project is successful. So you want your planning team to get together and make sure that you guys are on the same page. You want to create project goals and a method to track your progress, and I'll show you an example in a second. And then you want to write a project plan with tasks and timelines so that it's really easy when you're working on a bunch of different things to just follow it. This is an example of a project timeline that a classroom did. So they really set their goals and their method to track their progress, which was really on their chalkboard. And it had a timeline and tasks associated with it. The third piece, the most fun, is acting. So implementing your project plan, which is a very formal way to say, have fun, and go do your service project, go volunteer, and document your activity. Take photos, take videos, do something really interesting with media, and measure and track and record those project outcomes. So if you started with just a field without any trees, how many trees did you plant? Things like that. Those are important for people to know. And this is actually an example of a plan that our youth council member, David, created. So he had planned out everything that he was going to do for his hunger project, and then he wrote it down in our toolkit. And then he, when it came time for Global Youth Service Day and right before, this is what he used, and he used it successfully to do his project. So again, these are just different ways that you could document your and track your project outcomes. So how much compost are you collecting to create amazing soil? I'm just going to make a plug here. Right before you plan your project and right before you act, or I guess after you plan and right before you act, register your project. We want to hear about it. I can't stress it enough. Okay, so now we're on to reflection. So we think this is one of the most important parts of your project, because we think that it really makes sure that whatever you did this time around for your project, you'll learn a lot from it, and the next one will be 10 times better. So take the time to reflect and connect what you're doing with what you're learning and all of that, what your community is gaining, and what this means for our future. A lot of projects that happen on Global Youth Service Day are changing the world. I would say all of them, if I can. And we want you to think about how you are changing the world and realize your impact, because it's extraordinary. And the last piece, which is still fun, even though acting is really the most fun, we want you to demonstrate and celebrate your successes. So sharing your outcomes and your highlights with either high-ranking officials. Oops. Mute my microphone. Can you hear me now? I just got a message that people can't hear.
Hear you. Maybe we just have to let it. There we go.
Great. Okay. So demonstration and celebration is really about sharing your outcomes and your highlights, and teaching others how to replicate your project. So we actually think this is a great teaching mechanism for you to take part in, because we think that others really need to take what you've learned and try it out for themselves as well. So encourage others to replicate what you've already done. And then celebrate your success and thank all of your supporters. Crucial to making sure that they're coming back again next year. So we always encourage people to directly thank people, but also sending them a nice card or throwing them a party, or having an award ceremony for everyone. We have a bunch of celebration ideas as well on our site that you can look into. And of course, celebration on GYSD is a common thing. I'm going to pause for a second and let the internet connection reconnect. Great. Okay. I think I might just have to talk a little bit slower. Sorry if I'm talking too fast. Hey, look at that! Register your project. This is another reminder that we would love for you to go onto GYSD.org and register your project. We want to hear about it. We want your country to be represented, and we want you to be represented. So go on there, create a project, and you will make us all very, very happy. And make us smile. I love reading your stories. Again, GYSD Global Youth Service Day, which is April 11th through the 13th, although I'm sure you all already know that, is about celebration and volunteering. And let others celebrate you and what you are doing 365 days of the year. So I want you to remember to plan and register your project, obviously. But also share your story. There's a page on our site where you can tell us your story and give us a narrative about what you've been working on. And we'd love to, we go through those frequently and see which ones really speak to us. And then if there's a chance that you could be in our newsletter or on our blog. And then, of course, spread the word. GYSD is no good unless people don't know about it. So I also want to thank all of the YES programs, all of you YES alumni, for the work that you do year-round. I sometimes get to meet you here in the office, and it's fantastic. You guys are the highlight of my year, always. And so thank you to you and Iron. And go ahead and tweet out this message and get involved with GYSD.
Thank you, Katherine, so much. I really appreciate it. Those were some really, really useful pointers, and it's a great structure and timeline just to think about the planning process, first starting with investigating. Before you even begin to prepare and plan, it seems so important. And I think it's really, again, very important to reflect and take the time to reflect afterwards. So often we plan events and we just get so excited in the planning and then the acting that we don't take much time at the end of it or afterwards to reflect and really appreciate the impact that we've had or the work that we've done and all that went into it. So I think those are really great points. And I also want to remind all of the Yes alumni that just like YSA collects stories for their blog, as many of you know, we do have our yesprograms.org website where we constantly highlight the wonderful work that Yes alumni around the world are doing. And that's no different for GYSD. And we're really excited to be able to showcase all of the projects that they'll be doing this year as well on our website. So I echo what Katherine is saying, that it's extremely important that right away after you complete your project, that you either write a small story or a short report and send it to us so that we can share it with everyone right away as well. And one thing that I find is really helpful is that you assign one person in your planning group to be responsible. Or maybe, yes, alumni, you have someone who has completed the digital storytelling workshops. Have them be responsible for taking video clips, interviewing other participants, taking photos, and then that person can be the one that tells the story of your project. And Hassan, I think that's a great idea. Make sure that you get quotes from the participants because then you really can find out what they're thinking and what their experience was, and it shows all the great work you're doing. Katherine, I just have one follow-up question just to kind of recap all of these things. Is if right now, once the alumni finish listening to this webinar, what are the first 3 things that they should go and do right now?
Oops. Sorry for clicking all the wrong buttons.
It's okay. You're doing great.
The first 3 things that they should go do is talk to their peers about what project they want to do, and visit the Global Youth Service Day website for project ideas. And then once they figure all of that out, I would go register your project.
Thank you. And then I just wanted to double check. So I see here also that part of spreading the word is using the hashtag GYSD. Is there a 2014 hashtag, or we have a lot of social media gurus in our group?
So actually we just sorry, am I getting just hashtag GYSD for the English spelling of Global Youth Service Day. We use it every single year and it never changes, so feel free to use that. And if you want to, you can tag Youth Service America, which is at Youth Service, all one word.
And then another question, last one, and then we'll have questions also at the end of this webinar, just for everyone that's here, so you know. When a group of alumni complete a project, do they receive a certificate? Do they receive any acknowledgement that they participated in the program? Or is that why it's important to register on the website?
That is absolutely why it's important to register on the website. After the campaign is over, around the April 14th, we'll actually send out to everybody who's registered on the site an impact report to let us know what you did and how it went, all of that good stuff. And then we'll also give you the opportunity as part of that, and if you fill out your impact report, to get a certificate from us, from YSA, that you were indeed a project organizer for Global Youth Service Day. So there's definitely that opportunity, and I encourage you all to register, even if you just want the certificate. I should also mention, I forgot to, I'm sorry, Christine, but we should also tag Yes Program News as part of any of your GYSD tweets.
Yeah, so Yes Alumni, what you can do is, instead of having our own separate hashtag for GYSD, we're going to combine. That way, other people who are participating in GYSD can still follow with their hashtag, and then we'll also still see what Yes Alumni are also doing. So what you'll do is hashtag KL Yes, and then hashtag GYSD. and two separate hashtags together, and that way, or you can use the handle at Yes Program News as well, and that way we can follow everything that's going on. So great, thank you for reminding us of that. And if anyone has questions for Katherine, you can go ahead and chat them in the chat box. We'll get back to them at the very end of the webinar. So for right now, I'm just going to ask Katherine to hang tight, and we're going to introduce our two wonderful alumni from the Philippines. Thank you again, Katherine. We really appreciate it. And we'll go ahead. Yeah. All right, and we're going to go ahead and ask Mahid and Froskhan to turn on their microphones if they can, please. And hopefully we can get their cameras to work as well. Hopefully we haven't lost them. I know they were having some connection issues this morning, or it's for afternoon for them. Mahid, can you hear us?
Hi, Christine.
Hi, wonderful. I'm so glad this is working. Great. So I'd like to welcome you. Thank you so much for joining us. I know it's a little late there for you in the Philippines. But we really appreciate you joining us. And for all of you that are here part of this webinar, Mahid and Froskhan are both YES alumni, and they also work with the alumni groups in the Philippines, where there are actually many, many groups, which they'll tell us more about. But they also have a lot of wonderful experience with GYSD, and they help other alumni plan projects regionally as well. So we're going to learn from them a little bit more about the YES alumni take on GYSD and why it's so important. So first, I'm going to ask Mahid and Froskhan to introduce themselves, and they have a nice presentation that they're going to share with us as well. And then we will ask a few questions and learn a little bit more. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Christine. Hello, everyone. My name is Mahid, and you can call me Mahid. I'm from the Philippines. I was on the YES program back in 2004. I was hosted in Chevy Chase, Maryland. And right now, I'm working as the IT and Communications Specialist for AFS Philippines. And previously, I have worked for the YES Alumni Philippines as the YES coordinator.
Mhm. Hi, magandang araw sa lahat. That's how we say good day to everyone in Filipino. My name is Froskhan Abdurahim. You can call me Froskhan or you can call me Frosky. I was on the YES program in the year 2005-2006, a year after Mahid went on the program. I was hosted in a small town in Florence, South Carolina. My host family is the Culpepers of Florence. Um, I I'm working with AFS Intercultural Programs Philippines as a volunteer and chapter development coordinator, and I'm working with the alumni as well for this year. We have Mahit and I have been involved with the Yes Program Philippines for almost 7-8 years now, and that's it. And we're very honored and we're very happy that we were invited to actually share the activities that we've done for the past 2 years with GYSD. And before proceeding to our projects, we would like to, inform everyone the realities of Yes Philippines and GYSD. Yes Philippines, the Yes program in the Philippines started in 2004, and we are actually celebrating now our 10th year anniversary. We have 362 Yes alumni already in the Philippines and counting. And we have been the implementing organization of the YES program, which is the AFS Intercultural Programs Philippines, has been a partner of the Global Youth Service Day, for the past 2 years, and we are very 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 happy now that Youth Service America still chose AFS Philippines to be one of its partner country, and and with the numerous projects that we have implemented with our Yes alumni, we are very happy that we will be introducing some of them to you.
And thank you, Froskan. In the next few minutes, we'll be sharing with you some of the activities that we have done, especially the other Yes alumni from the Philippines on Global Youth Service Day for the last 2 to 3 years. And before we begin with the activities, we would like everyone to know that the Yes Alumni Philippines has begun from a very humble beginning, and today, since Yes Alumni Philippines, we do not have an official alumni association. We kind of work from all over the Philippines, and every time we conduct activities, Froskan and I would coordinate with every single group of alumni, and that's one of the challenges that we have. But overall, we would like everyone to know that it's a matter of hard work, and that today KLES Philippines alumni actually collectively aim to strengthen our network as an alliance of peace advocates and nation builders. And hoping to further our role as ambassadors of goodwill, we, the alumni of the YES program in the Philippines, actively take part in the Global Youth Service Day. And we try to help develop our society and local areas in recognition of our capacity to effect change in our own little ways. And Global Youth Service Day actually was not very popular in the Philippines, especially among the Yes alumni years ago. But 2 years ago, when the AFS Philippines got selected as the country
Country
partner
partner.
for the Philippines, that was when the Yes alumni began to work for the Global Youth Service Day. And we are very happy right now to be sharing with you some of the activities that these Yes alumni from the Philippines have organized in the past. And I'd like to begin sharing the first, one of the very few projects that started it all. And it was a formation program conducted by the Yes alumni in General Santos City back in the southern Philippines. And General Santos City, what's good about this project is that it is very strategic. General Santos City is a city where you can, it's there's a significant number of out of school youth, and you see crimes everywhere. So the Yes alumni in that area, they thought, why not do something that can prevent or that can help the youth in the society, especially out of school youth, prevent such things. So this formation program that they conducted uh, featured activities on health advocacy, self-awareness, and most especially self-defense. And amazing part of this activity as well is that the Yes alumni in General Santos City, they coordinated with the local government and the military, especially in the self-defense part, where they were taught how to, the basic martial arts and basic ways to defend yourself in times of trouble. So that's one of the projects, very few projects that started GYSD among Yes alumni.
Yes. Okay. Second of the projects that we want to introduce to you is the donation drive that some of the Yes alumni in Southern Philippines as well conducted. The projects that they focus actually uh, are based on the issues that they see in their communities. They want to address these issues. So one of the issues that they saw is the pronounced poverty in the city. There are some areas in the city where there are a lot of children and youth and their families are very less fortunate when it comes to you know uh, materials, the needs, their daily needs. The donation drive, the Yes Alumni Philippines, they collected basic needs like clothes. They also provided toiletries, some soap, some toothbrush and toothpaste, and they donated it to one community where there is a pronounced number of less fortunate people. And it's as you can see in the picture, there are some of our alumni helping segment some of the clothes for children, some of the clothes for adults, and some of the and other necessities. What's good about our Yes alumni is that they are actually focusing. They are really focusing on the key issues in their communities. Through their volunteerism and through their community services, they are able to make a change, and they are able to, their goal is to actually alleviate the living condition somehow of these people. And so uh, that's it. They've conducted a donation drive. Next would be um, another activity that some of our alumni in the southernmost part of the Philippines, called Holo in Sulu Archipelago. They saw the need of rehabilitating the mangroves and some of the trees in the coastal areas. This is actually, it's hitting two birds in one stone. They did tree planting and mangrove planting activity plus coastal cleanup. So what's good about the project is that they partnered with different organizations, and one of their partner organization is the Department of Environment and Natural Resources. Um, as you can see, they went to an area where you can see that there are less mangroves, and their goal is to actually rehabilitate the mangrove in the areas. The reason why there is a decreased number of mangroves in that areas is that some of the sites are used for waste dumping. Some have been turned into commercial centers, and they want to they're addressing environmental issues here. So tree planting, mangrove planting, and at the same time they did coastal cleanup.
And another activity that was conducted before is is a product or is a result of the fact that the Yes alumni also recognizes the importance of the youth, especially children and out of school youth in the society, and that it's a reality in the Philippines that many communities actually cannot afford, especially families cannot afford to send their children to school. And what the Yes Alumni Group in Zamboanga City did is that they organized an activity for school supply and donation drive, as well as storytelling. So this gathered um, around 20 to 30 children in the communities. Most of them are out of school youth. They don't go to school. Um, and most of them cannot even afford to buy, school supplies, materials that they can bring to school. They don't have bags, they don't have, pencils or pens that they can bring with them to school. So the Yes alumni recognize this reality in the society, and that one of the things that they have organized in the past is, as I mentioned, school supply donation and a storytelling. And what we love about this program or this activity is that since 2012 it has been done a lot of times, because there are a lot of children in the Philippines who cannot really afford to go to school, especially even public schools, because they have to shell out money or amounts, and they just can't afford that. So it's also good that we recognize their contribution in the society.
Yeah. Okay. The Hello San Roque and Daycare Center. These are two different activities conducted in two different locations. The Hello San Roque activity was conducted in Metro Manila. It's in the capital, and the Daycare Center was conducted in Southern Philippines. Hello San Roque is a community service outreach program by Yes alumni residing, studying, living in Metro Manila, and of course in cooperation with the staff of AFS Intercultural Programs Philippines. The project was conceived to, address key issues in the community, catering more than 200 children in San Roque. It was designed to address, of course, issues that affects, the growth and development of the children and the youth in that specific area. Some of the activities conducted, as you can see in the pictures, we had games, we did tutorial. Some of the tutorials we did spelling, reading, comprehension, grammar, history. Of course, values information is very important as well, and basic math. Tutorial as well on personal care and hygiene, because these children are living um, we can say that in poverty, because their areas are not really conducive for the environment is not really conducive for learning. So we want to emphasize personal hygiene as well. And of course, in line with personal hygiene, we have basics like brushing your teeth, taking a bath, combing hair, clean clothes, and others. We also introduced. We had feeding program as well. We were able to, we had the chance to talk about nutrition, proper physical health, and foods that can cater the growth and development of these children. Um, aside from our audiences, the youth and the children, some of the parents are there as well. They are present because we want to also increase the awareness of those parents, parents of the children, to actually, to have to understand the hygiene, to understand the nutrition and health. We also did clothing donation and giving of school supplies. Yes, it's a good project, collaborated by the Yes Alumni Philippines with the staff of AFS Intercultural Programs.
And also, I don't want to fail to mention this special project that we did last year. It's called Youth Leadership for Development. So this is like a mini GYSD that the Yes Alumni in the Philippines organized last year, in celebration as well, in coinciding the celebration of the 10th anniversary of the Yes program. And a group of 14 Yes alumni around Metro Manila organized a youth leadership workshop in Cavite City, which is in the northern part of the Philippines. And this youth development or youth training involved 42 youth council members, and this youth council is actually connected with the government. So what we did is that we collaborated with these youth leaders in the communities to be part of this training. And what we like about this program or about this specific project is that it is like a mini GYSD, as I've mentioned, that at the end of the training, we grouped them into 10. Actually, we had 10 groups, and then what they did is that they formed their own, they came up with their own projects, addressing different issues like environment, civic education, and health awareness. So um, and the most important thing about this project as well is that the sustainability of it. That even after that specific day, we were able to see a lot of reports from these youth council members of their programs, of their activities, that brought out by this specific leadership training that we did. And we're very happy about this because this year we will be doing such thing again, because we see the importance of involving the youth leaders in the communities as well.
Okay. And other activities that the Yes alumni conducted are tutorial classes and counseling sessions. A group of alumni in Cagayan de Oro City, Northern Mindanao, Philippines, uh, uh, partnered with Kabataan Center, Center for Children, wherein they provided counseling and tutorial sessions focused mainly on the importance of education. And what's good about this project is that it was implemented in three consecutive Saturdays, because some of the Yes alumni here are university students, and they have classes, from Monday to Fridays, and they see that Saturday is a perfect time for them to be able to implement the project. So what they did is that they divided the project into three consecutive Saturdays, and focusing, of course, in education. And what's good also about this project is that they were able to partner with the children's center, catering more than 50 children. So it's a good number already to be able to extend, our programs to them. And also, they've invited some of the key persons of the establishment of the center, so that they want to focus on the sustainability. So they also share their insights, their knowledge about such counseling and tutorials, so that even if they will not be there anymore, the project will still continue. They want to focus on the sustainability of the project.
Wow, thank you, Mahid and Froskhan, so much for sharing all of those projects with us. I think those are some really great ideas and examples of different project ideas. And I know the conversation in the chat has been going great, and people are sharing ideas as well. So I think those are great places to start. And I noticed that you've been mentioning a lot about partnering, and can you tell us maybe then what are some of the three most important steps when you begin planning your GYSD project, and how does finding partnerships play into that?
For us, one important thing that we can share to them is that when planning a project, you need to know the 5 Ws and 1 H. That's what, when, where, why, and how. We need to target our audience. We need to know who will be the recipients who will be the target beneficiaries of the project. We need to know who will be with us implementing this project. So we need to know our human resources. We also need to know what project we want to plan and implement. We of course we have these big ideas, brilliant ideas, but we want to be smart. We want to be specific. We want to be measurable. We want the project to be attainable. We want it to be realistic, and we want it to be time bounded. So it is very important to first assess your community, assess what problem that you need to address in your community. May it be health, may it be sanitation, may it be environment, or civic engagement. You just need to know the first concept that you want to get into it. And of course, and you need to know the means. You need to know the processes. What's very important is that you need to have a goal. You want to achieve this, and you will be able to achieve this through this. You need to know the processes. You need to know the means for you to be able to achieve what you want to to attain.
And I want to add a little bit about partnering with different organizations, because I think this is one of the most important things that we have to remember, especially with GYSD. And in the Philippines, we recognize the fact that one of our challenges is that we cannot, not many of our alumni can afford to implement their own projects on their own. So they have to look for other partner organizations. And what's good about this is that when you when you plan to do a GYSD project, and that you are starting small, or there's just only one, there's only you who is interested in joining, you have to first think of the problems in the societies that you want to address. Or if there are just too many of them, you just have to find out what you are passionate about, and that in the community there will always be a group that have the same that have the same cause or interest as you do, and that you have to find them. It's a matter of extending an effort in looking for partners, and that somewhere out there there'll be a group of people in the community, in the government, that also address the same issues, and that partnering with different organizations can help you a lot implement your goals and your projects.
Thank you. I think that's so important. And you're right. I think many times I hear from alumni that, oh, but I'm the only one in my community, or everyone else is really busy with school. And sometimes it can be really overwhelming to think about planning something this big. And I think that the advice you're giving is really great, is that you don't have to do this alone. There are plenty of people other people in your community, other youth who may not necessarily be alumni of the YES program, but might also be interested in the same thing you're interested in, or another nonprofit or another organization doing similar work. And I think that's such great advice. You don't have to do this alone, and having help definitely makes this a more fun process. So you were talking a little bit about challenges. So then what are some other challenges that you have seen some of your alumni association chapters face when trying to participate in GYSD, and what were some of the ways that they overcame those challenges?
First, the first major challenge that we face is the financial resources and the support. To mobilize your project, you have these brilliant ideas, but how will you be able to mobilize it? We need money. And what our guest alumni is doing is that they target sponsorships. They write letters to different organizations who will be able to partner with them in implementing those projects. As what Mahid said, there will be a lot of organizations who will be very interested and who have the same advocacies as the Yes alumni, and some of the projects that they want to implement. Um, they through partnerships and sponsorships, we were able to mobilize some of our financial resources challenges. And in the Philippines reality, we have an issue when it comes to geographical situation. The Philippines
It's
is
an
an archipelago
archipelago.
we are distant from each other through seas and oceans, and we want to collaborate with each other. We want to implement a project with all of the Yes alumni, but it's really hard to reach out to them because physically they are not we are not together. So we were able to overcome those challenges when it comes to geographical situation through the use, and we leverage the power of technology and social media. Some of the projects that we implemented, we really use technology,
Mm-hmm.
computers, and Skype. Of course, Skype is free. You can use that,
Hmm.
and you can see each other. And that's it. Use the power of technology and social media. And last would be
And I'd like also to mention the inaccessibility. One of the challenges that the inaccessibility of almost everything, like especially Froskan mentioned about geographical situation of the Philippines, and then the inaccessibility. Some of the far-flung areas in the Philippines do not have internet connections, and it becomes so hard for us in the metro area to communicate with them, especially in documenting the projects. So what we do usually is that because they cannot register their projects online, especially on GYSD, and submit their own projects. We would usually do is that we take leadership role in registering the project, in submitting in polishing the reports and submitting it to our partners like in the U.S. Embassy, in the State Department, so that they would be able to to feel like, okay, there's someone helping them, and then someone is taking full responsibility as well as leadership role, and you just have to show them that there's someone who is willing to help them out, and you got to be the figure there, especially for Yes alumni, which I'm encouraging everyone to do as well. Is that a lot of the people maybe in your communities cannot do many things that you can, and you have to take a extra step, and show them that, okay, there's someone who's willing to help, and that you are there.
That's wonderful. I like all of those ideas, and it sounds like I think a lot of the challenges that you faced were definitely. Oops, I think we lost your video. But I think all of those ideas are all of the challenges that you mentioned are challenges that other alumni face, and you seem to have come up with really great ways to deal with those. And so I'd love to hear, even in the chat box, if other alumni have other ways that they've come up with creative solutions to some of these challenges as well. This is a great space for sharing that. But I also, in terms of internet, you were talking about reporting and documenting and submitting their events. What do you think the role of media is, like social media or just digital storytelling, is when it comes to GYSD, and why is that important?
um Well, hello. Sorry. For GYSD, I think we have to recognize the importance of media, because obviously, even without GYSD, media is very powerful. And even if you post something online on Facebook or Twitter, there's gonna be a possibility that at least 10 persons will get to see that, and that it only tells us that media has a very big influence in our project. Let's say especially for alumni who are working alone or with a very small group. Media could really help them a lot, especially Facebook, Twitter, or even YouTube. If you post something on Facebook, a lot of people will get to see that because there is a multiplier effect. If you post something, people will have a total, it will go a long way. The reach will go really fast. And media has so many forms, not just social media, not just social networks, but also radio, television,
Public
and
relations.
public relations. It includes also newspapers. And what we can share to you is that actually a few weeks ago, Froskan and I were invited to speak in a radio station promoting Global Youth Service Day and the Yes program in general. And that in that simple way, you get people to know what GYSD is. Or let's say if you are in school and then you are in a school publication, you can submit a feature article on Global Youth Service Day. Or as simple as, if you are in if you are online all the time. I think most of the youth now are very active on social media like Facebook. In the Philippines, since we work for AFS Intercultural Programs Philippines, we created a page called Global Youth Service Day Philippines 2014. And it's very overwhelming how people, you know, they would just go there and like, and then would send us messages how we can help, how can we help, what are the projects in my community that we can help with, and those other things that very very powerful. And I think media is one of the things that we can use.
Well, some of the volunteers in the Philippines, not Yes alumni, have contacted us because they saw our page and they saw what we've broadcasted about Global Youth Service Day. And tracing back in history, when during our first year as country partner of the Global Youth Service Day, we want to really increase the visibility and awareness about Global Youth Service Day. And we actually utilized the power of social media. We were all over. We were on Facebook, on Twitter. We have Instagram. We have Vimeo, and so since it's free, we want to to have its power to be able to extend the programs to those people living from far places.
Great, thank you. So I want to make sure we have time for our attendees to answer some questions. But first, I want to ask you the same question that I asked Katherine, which is right now when alumni get off this webinar, what do you think are the first couple of things that they should do? Of course, besides registering their project.
I think for me, I think the first thing that they have to do is you have to start thinking about the project that you want to do. You have to start now because um, not well. GYSD is not just like it's just around, because GYSD could be a year
A
long
year long.
event. But what we want the Yes alumni and other youth out there to know is that you have to start early, because if you start early, you get people participate, and you have enough time to convince people to join you. And versus if you start like few weeks before, or few days before the Global Youth Service Day, not many people will get to know your project, and that you will have very hard time convincing people to join you, and especially looking for partner organizations. So I want to let them know that they have to start as soon as possible, thinking about the projects and planning.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing the stories about your projects, for sharing all of your insight. I mean, you gave such valuable advice, things that I didn't even think of. And so I hope all of the attendees today are taking some valuable lessons away. And hopefully for those that are going to be watching this later, they've learned something. I know I've learned quite a bit. We have a few questions from people. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to ask, you guys can stay on the camera, and I'm just going to ask Katherine to join us here. And And I'm just going to start asking questions that the audience has posed to us. So, Katherine, you can go ahead and turn on your camera whenever you have a moment and your microphone. Great. And if you just make sure you keep your microphones muted in between each other. But the first question, I'd like to just go back really quickly to Mahid and Froskhan. Can you give us a few tangible tips and steps, things that alumni can do to approach partners and to get partners?
Hello. I think. Hello, Christine. I think we lost you.
Okay, we're gonna type it to you. The question is, do you have any tips on approaching partners? What are some things that you think that they can do to approach partners and get partnerships with local organizations?
Yes. How do you? Well, yes. Well, in trying to collaborate or partner with different sectors in the society, may it be from the local government units or private non-government organizations, first step is that you need to search for them. You need to, share your thoughts, like who are the people behind these organizations that have the same interest, that has the same advocacies as mine. And second would be, set up meetings, send them emails, send them documents that you want to have an appointment and you want to have a meeting with them, that you want to introduce your program, you want to introduce this Global Youth Service Day, and that verbalize that you have an interest working with them because you believe in their advocacies as well. You know, uh, Try to have a win-win situation wherein at the end of the day, at the end of the project, both partners are happy of the outcome. And if you're from an alumni that is very small and not a lot of volunteers, it is very important that you need to look for sponsors or partners that will be able to help you implement those big projects you have in mind.
Yeah, I think one thing I can also suggest and advise the other Yes alumni out there is that GYSD is very useful. The tools, GYSD tools on the website are very, very useful, especially that I believe in the past we have also used using the templates, letter templates to get sponsors and partnership with other organizations. And that's very helpful. If you go on the website, you see a lot of, resources, the tools that can help you. You don't have to have your own templates or start from the very beginning or from scratch, because GYSD tools have provided you basic things that you can build up on. And another thing is that one thing I want to emphasize as well is that a lot of companies, a lot of organizations in the communities have what we call CSR, or community service relations, or you know um, external relations for the communities. And you just have to find the fine way to convince them to join you, to support you, because in every organization there's always one part that that really works on social issues and in the community. So you just have
Yeah.
to really have to be powerful. If they don't want to set a meeting with you, might as well send another request, because you just have to show them that you are interested. You cannot stop from there. You have to be motivated. You have to show them that you are willing to work these things out.
Thank you. I think that's great advice. And again, the tools, there are many great tools on the GYSD.org website. So it's great to hear that you've been using those, and those sound like really easy steps. And again, I want to remind Yes alumni that you always have your recruitment office staff and your other alumni association members who can help you network and make contacts. So definitely never hesitate to reach out to those around you that you already know. Katherine, another question that we have is, what are the benefits of becoming a YSA country partner, and how does one become a country partner?
Yeah, that's a great question, especially because AFS Philippines is one. So the country partner program again, and I didn't go into a whole lot before, is essentially recognition to a specific organization that works within one specific country um, for their Global Youth Service Day work. So obviously AFS Philippines has been working on this for a little while, and we ask that the organization actually organize, get together at least 100 youth over the course of April. And so there's an application process, and you can find it on gysd.org. And if unfortunately it's already closed for this year, but we will be opening it in the fall of next year of, well, I guess of this year, of 2014. But in terms of the GYSD program year, it's next. And so we encourage anyone who's working with a specific organization that's not, a huge organization, but is really focused on their specific country. And that's, any of the Yes alumni partners and AFS and American councils, all of these great organizations that have country-specific offices can apply. So the benefits too are that we are recognizing you publicly for this work, and we want you to use that actually to increase your partnerships and funding with other organizations. So this actually stems right from what Froskhan and Mahid were talking about in terms of getting more partners. We hope that being a recognized Global Youth Service Day country partner will actually allow you to walk into that meeting with that person and say, I have an official recognition. Let's work together.
Perfect. So for any of you alumni who are not country partners yet, maybe something to think about for next year. Talk to your staff in country, and maybe this is something you can organize for next year. Thank you, Katherine. So next questions for Mahid and Froskhan again. Do you have any tips for getting non-YES alumni from the community to either donate goods or volunteer their time for your GYSD project, especially when it's in a community where volunteerism isn't familiar or common? How do you get them engaged? Oh, I think you guys are muted. If you just unmute your microphone, and then we can hear you.
Hello? Okay. Were you asking a question? Sorry.
I just asked you if you had any tips or advice on how to get non-YES alumni to donate goods or volunteer their time to your GYSD project, as long as, especially in the community that isn't accustomed to volunteering.
Okay. Well, what's good about my work, I work with volunteers and chapters in different areas in the Philippines. In the Philippines reality, we have areas, we have cities where volunteerism is a champion, wherein volunteerism is very famous. We also have areas wherein some of the community people are not very involved when it comes to community services. When we introduce to them programs like this and projects like this, we really emphasize to them that being involved in this worldwide advocacy is a prestige, and they can see that it's an honor to be part of this because this event is celebrated worldwide, and to be part of an activity being celebrated worldwide is it's an honor, it's an opportunity. and we instill to them the spirit of volunteerism by making them realize that probably you will be of great help in order to alleviate some of the living conditions of your community people. You just have to take the lead. If there are no people taking the lead, it's probably you. And we always emphasize as well that we are always here. We are always here to support you and to guide you in whatever volunteerism projects you have in mind. So it's very important that you make them feel that they are being supported when it supported in emotional aspect of life, um, other concerns, if they have concerns, you talk about it, and as much as possible you accommodate them, and you adjust whatever concerns they have in mind.
And additional comment as well is that what's important to remember is that when you organize a project, it's also you can also consider involving famous people or in the government like the mayor or the governor of the city that supports you, and that if you when you talk to the non-yes alumni people in the community and you tell them that, oh, this person is involved with our project, is supporting our project, they they feel like, okay, your group is credible, that you can be trusted, and then you have a goal. And that, like Froskan mentioned earlier, you also mentioned to them that it's being celebrated worldwide, and you can even show pictures from different cities or different countries organizing projects on Global Youth Service Day. And then they will feel like, okay, I want to be part of this global campaign because there's a community out there outside my own, and then you want to, yes, and then they want to be part of it, and it's just a matter of convincing them, and then telling them that participating in this kind of project would you'll be part of a global community.
Wonderful. That was really great advice, and hopefully, alumni that inspires you to, as Froskan said, take the leap and move forward. So we're a little bit over time, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up. If you have further questions, please feel free to chat in the chat box, and our panelists are welcome to answer them there. Again, you can always contact your country office if you have any questions about GYSD. They also have information. And I want to give everyone, or I want everyone to give a virtual round of applause to our panelists. Thank you so much again, Katherine, Mahid, and Froskan, for joining us today, sharing your insight and your knowledge. I'm really, really excited about GYSD 2014, and I hope the YES community is also really, really excited. I just want to remind everyone. Good. I just want to remind everyone that that the alumni grant cycle is being extended. The deadline is being extended to April, April 14th to be exact. And if you're interested in getting funding for your GYSD project, you can apply for that. And there's more information on yesprograms.org/alumni. And so you can go there to get more information and to apply. And that's due April 14th. So you can get that funding in time for your project if you, or I guess you can try to apply before that and get funding for your project or reimbursement, or even plan for 2015 if you'd like. So that's all. I don't know if our panelists have anything additional that they would like to add. I'm going to go ahead and add these polls back in here that we had from the beginning. So if any of you who are joining us did not have a chance to respond to previous GYSD projects that you've had and what country you're from, please do that now. And also please tell us here if there's a better time. We're trying to find the best time to host these webinars, as we'll be having more this year. So please respond to this poll. Let us know Monday through Friday, Saturday or Sunday, and what time in Eastern time would be best for you, just so we can make sure that we schedule them at a time that works best for everybody. So thank you again, and we will hopefully see everyone soon.
Thank you so much, Christine. I'll see you all online.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.